Understanding circle patterns in Star Citizen is crucial to movement, offense, and defense. Today we will focus on mastery of the circle strafe, the primary tool required for corkscrews, inversions, and knife fighting. If this seems a bit advanced, make sure to check out my playlist linked below to catch up to speed. So there's a main variable that I need to teach, and that's lining the pip with your wings. So what I mean by that is if I strafe to the right, the pip will go to my left, meaning that the pip is lined up with my left wing. If I go to the right, now the pip will be lined up with my right wing. So back to center. It's not necessarily where his ship is, but where the pip is in relationship to my crosshair. So if you draw an imaginary line between my crosshair right here, you'll see that it's a 90-degree angles between the crosshair and where the pip is. And again, over here, right side. All right, back to neutral. Now that's important because corkscrew is all about your up strafe, and we're first going to demonstrate it with your vector. I'm going to go forward, up strafe, roll, and you'll see the vector is doing a circle around the crosshair. Now that's great when you're doing it in space, but when you want to do it around the target and you guys are moving in who knows what direction at what speed, the vector becomes useless and you have to rely on the pip. So we're going to do the exact same thing, but with the pip. We're going to line it off to the side, we're going to up strafe, and we're going to roll. And you're going to see the pip move along in a circle around the ship. The pip will kind of give you an idea of how much up strafe or roll you need. Say for example, I just up strafed, right? Well, what would happen is the pip will keep going down and down and down until we zoom away. The general goal is keeping that pip lined up with my left wing. So if I keep it lined up with the left and I go up and I see it going to the bottom, I roll till it's lined up with my left wing. Now I up strafe, I roll, line it up with the left wing. As long as you keep a smooth roll between your left wing and the pip, you'll always be applying a circle strafe around the opponent. This can be done on both sides. So if I strafe to the side, up strafe, roll. And all I got to do is match that pip with my wing. If I overroll, it'll go above my cockpit, the pip that is. And if I underroll, it'll go under my cockpit. So I got to roll, match, up strafe, roll, match. The crosshair's job is to give me a relative target. He's my main target, so as long as it's near him, I'm okay. All I need to do now is where's that pip? That pip is above me right now, so I need to turn this way. Because the player might move the pip on you, so you need to adjust your roll to line that pip. His direction does not matter. All that matters is where's that pip in relationship to you and your wing. So see right here, I just gotta roll. Here we're gonna go into a skirmish, and I'm only gonna focus on applying that circle strafe. So all I need to do is keep it on the side and up strafe. Now how much roll is gonna change depending on what he's doing, but as you can see, I'm blacking out here. Push the pip to the side, up strafe, roll. And only is needed. Right there, I barely needed any roll. Now, this can be used very defensively. If you back away from the opponent as you do these corkscrews, his landing or his shots become impossible to land, as you can see right there. It's all about distance and speed. Again, right there, little corkscrew, save myself. If you want a tighter circle, you increase the roll speed so that the pip is 45-degree angle. So I up strafe and I roll and I keep it at a 45 right about here. And you'll see that tighten up really quickly. Conversely, if you want to widen it, you do the opposite. You do 45 degrees angle on the bottom of this crosshair. So I up strafe, I roll, and instead of lining up 90 degrees like so, I let it get under my ship and then I roll, and then you'll see this widen and get us further apart. All right, so as you can see, a lot of this causes blackouts really quickly. So how we counter that is inverting the way we're strafing. For example, if I do this, I start my corkscrew, all of a sudden I'm gonna start blacking out here. All I need to do is roll 180 degrees. So now it's on my right wing, and now I down strafe and I do an inverted roll where I'm now rolling away from the pip. And you'll see it still does that circle. A real one would look something like this. Instantly swap to down strafe. So right here, boom, down strafe, back. Just to start getting that vector pushing downwards. Up strafe, down strafe, See how I'm keeping that momentum going? Like it's still going in the same direction. And I never pass out like this. Like I'm constantly like max force. You learned inversions by going this way, up strafing. We roll for the G safe, down strafe, and we continue the roll. So there's another form of this, which is called inversions. This is heavy on the Gs, but it's very good for being evasive. So all you're doing is you're up strafing, you're rolling, but instead of down strafing, you're up strafing and you're rolling in the other direction now. Roll, up strafe, change directions. Roll, up strafe, change directions. Let's take a look from the enemy's perspective. So Gondor rolls, he's gonna 180 flip, roll, change directions. Do it again, roll, change directions. And you see how the pip goes from all of a sudden from the bottom to the top, and it just keeps, it does like a wave pattern. It does this if you repeat it fast enough. Okay, so circle strafing up close, right? Forget the pip. Everything you learned about the pip applies to the ship in close quarters. This is where the pip no longer matters. Now that ship is my pip. So right here, he's lined with my left. Right here, he's lined with my right. Same as the pip, nothing different. When you do these corkscrews, I want to keep him lined on the right. So you see how he stays right wing the whole time? But look how fast I have to do these rolls. And if we target it, it'll look like this. See, the pip doesn't move because we're so close to the target. All I have to do is keep him on the side. Same as the pip. If you put him above you, you'll cross over him and you'll go to the opposite side. So again, put him on the side. We can do invert because I'm passing out. Invert back. And you see these roll speeds are much, much faster because we're super tight on the ship. Here, Gondor, let's do the turret drill. You be turret, I'll be defense. So we know corkscrew up here, you can start shooting. So this is corkscrew, it only works, look, I'm 300, I'm getting hit. It doesn't do shit for me. So this is where you have to neutralize and you get closer. And then once you're close, now we can add these corkscrews. And there's no way for him to get his turret on me as long as I'm close to him. But see how I have to keep these circles tight? And you see me, I can swap from one side to the other. I don't have to keep it in the same direction. And you can do that by applying your side strafes to push him to one side or the other side. So again, push him to the left, up strafe. Push him to the right, up strafe. Push him to the right, up strafe. And again, these are very, very close, quick, tight, and very fast corkscrews. And now if I start adding those corkscrews at this distance, he'll never hit me. If I let myself come out here, he now has target on me and it's easy. So I need to neutralize, get close, and work my way close. In this distance, nothing he can do. And it's very little movements. Try to get used to, like, you're not just constantly gonna do corkscrews. It's not needed. What you wanna do is get in a position where you're safe. When he starts getting his nose to you, get to another position. He gets nose on you, get to another position. And you just keep repeating this. And you're trying to neutralize every time you swap target so that you can change direction when he gets his nose around. This last section will be some final tips and advanced maneuvers regarding today's tutorial. What you can do, Luz, is limit your speed severely. So here I can do it at like 85. I'm gonna get in front of your face right here. And I'm just gonna, well, you're gonna do this with somebody else. You're gonna practice the circle strafe at a very limited speed. I could even do less. So right here I'm at like 23. And this will let you practice it without blacking out. And then you can see why you're drifting further away or not. Like, see here, I'm not pressing any forward, but if I start pressing forward, it'll do this. It'll slowly get me closer to you. And if I reverse, it'll push me further away from you. And then once you have good control of this, you can start increasing the speed. And you can see it gets real crazy real fast. So what you need to do when you start getting too close like that is reverse. Just add a little bit of reverse and control it. So if I'm going forward like this, I need to reverse. And as long as I keep my nose on you, I'll always have the circle around your ship. I may off drift a little bit to the side or the back of your ship, that's fine, but it'll always keep you in front of me. You have to control your distance with your forward and reverse. So you're talking about like, oh, what if you want to do it this way, right? Like turning this way?
Yeah.
Okay, so now instead of you using your up strafe, which you still can, up strafe would look like this. You would up strafe and then pitch your nose as needed. That can get a little crazy though, and it's hard to keep track. The other way to do it is forward strafe and then pitch up. And all I'm doing here is applying forward and nosing up. And I'm using that pip to make it go in a circle. So this is a sideways circle strafe using forward and your nose pitch. That's a good tool. That's a very good tool to get really defensive, because like this allows me to use my very powerful engines to just keep pushing you away from me like this. And then you'll never ever be able to close the gap on me, and I can just keep extending further and further away. You can approach doing this if you want to be fancy and like then all of a sudden neutralize and get on target. But it won't make you any more defensive than just doing this, because we're approaching the target. It's a very, very defensive technique. And it can be used in an offensive capability if you get like tricky like this, just to make them run out of ammo, then you neutralize and then you shoot your shots. So there's offensive ways of using it. Thank you for the continued support, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.